it's us, the people who cover a team. We are not the team. That's for the people of Twitter. We are not the Coyotes. We cover a team, and yes, this team that we cover has a temporary locker room. This team has a lockerary.
A lockerary temporary.
I've only had 2 sips of beer. Don't worry about it.
Wait. Does Leah referencing Shane's shirt count as her calling them the Phoenix Coyotes?
Maybe I need to put $1 in the Phoenix Coyotes jar. Anyway, it's us, the ones who cover the team with temporary.
So we're not the team? It's not our fault?
We
didn't build the arena?
This is not
or the
us.
locker room?
No, we did not. We had nothing to do with this. Thank you for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes.
Not Craig fault?
No, unfortunately.
I like to blame Craig for a lot of things. Here's the thing.
Wait.
I don't care. She's got to do her show. I don't care if people blame me.
Thank you all for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes podcast, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Craig Morgan and Steve Peters. We are at Four Peaks 8th Street Pub here in Tempe. I got my pumpkin porter. I don't know what you guys are drinking.
I got a lager, the golden lager.
Cheers.
I don't know, but I heard a rumor that these vats behind us actually have taps on them so we can just refill when we want.
We're going to need it for this conversation today.
Boy.
Boy, oh boy, Twitter is blowing up today with the video that we tweeted, which we also discussed last night. If you were here with us on our post-game show last night, the first look at the NHL visiting team spaces at Mullet Arena. Here it is again if you're watching on YouTube right now. Obviously, not ideal, but, just as we expected, everyone on Twitter is handling it really well, Craig.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear that the visiting team is going to have to sit on the floor in a big circle and put on their equipment? Yeah.
They're going to have to bring in a garden hose
for showers. I heard that. That's a thing.
That's good.
Porta potties out back.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, porta potties. This is beautiful. This is good. Let's keep rolling with this.
No, it's good.
I'm out of ideas. I got it. That's all I got. Man, oh man. No, that is not what it's going to look like. And everybody's freaking out about it, understandably. So in some way, you can give some credit to the people freaking out. I will not give credit to the people being mean or continuing to bash the team because it's an easy thing for them to do. But we'll get into that in a little bit. The Coyotes open the Mullet Arena era this Friday night against the Winnipeg Jets. We're just 2 days away from that at this very moment. So let's talk about what we know so far about Mullet Arena. We're obviously going to dive into the visiting team space here in a second. But, Craig, what do we know so far about the Coyotes?
The NHL at Mullet Arena?
The NHL at Mullet.
Okay, well, we know that the visiting team is going to be setting up its areas on the community rink for the first 4 games. So that means the Winnipeg Jets, the New York Rangers, can't wait for the New York media to send and comment on this, the Florida Panthers, and the Dallas Stars. Those are the 4 teams that will have to rough it and dress in a temporary facility for 1 game this season. I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, with all the things going on in the world, this has to be right near the top of tragedies. I can't imagine how millionaire players are going to manage to get ready in a temporary team space for 1 game.
In a large, giant space?
Probably the biggest visiting space they'll ever get ready in.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right? Yeah. But so we know that. We know that the Coyotes are going to use ASU's visiting team area for these first 4 games. Aside from that, I mean, yes, it's a smaller capacity. And by the way, with the Coyotes, Petey, you know this as well, they have to block tickets for family members, friends, scouts, NHL officials. So I don't know if all those people are going to show up. So if you see some empty seats, I don't want to hear, oh, look, they can't even sell out the arena. Well, it's a reality. Plus, as you know,
we saw it against ASU.
Yeah.
Empty seats.
Well, people
were in the
up in
VIP.
clubs. Yeah, they're up in the clubs too.
But
that's going to happen
if
too.
you see that on Friday, everyone online is going to say they couldn't even sell out.
They couldn't.
No,
they're sold
people
out.
Commenting from a position of ignorance.
Never
Come on,
heard
Twitter.
that before.
No.
Is it especially on Twitter.
Do we need to be like the Academy Awards where they get seat fillers, and anytime someone leaves their seat, they got some. Like I know
it's like a pop-up.
DP will volunteer.
Like an airplane. Those
I would do that in a heartbeat. You don't even got to pay me.
You're a seat filler.
Sprinting around,
give me a beer and like some chicken tenders, and I'll be fine.
DP. Okay, I'm back, sir. and then you just go wait for the next guy to go to the bathroom. Because that is going to be, you're going to see that in certain sections and areas. That is absolutely going to happen, and then everybody's going to do it again. And by the way, those are people that are probably tuning in at 11 o'clock Eastern to watch an Arizona Coyote hockey game on a Friday night. Because
they're hoping
they
for
normally
something to troll the Coyotes or the fan base about. They're just hoping for it. It's like,
exactly.
This is how you live your life. Sorry, but you're a little bit pathetic. But let's move on with some of the things here. Here's the thing, and Petey, let's get into this, right? We know that this is the reality, right? For the next at least 3 seasons. We'll see where the vote goes with the Tempe City Council. That's probably coming very soon. We've heard it's going to be before the holidays. It's reality. It's not a good situation, which we've said numerous times, which the Coyotes have said. This is far from ideal. But what do you want them to do? Like, we talked about this way back when they were looking for an interim home, that they needed to get on the ball. And I know you have some thoughts on this because it didn't feel like there was some urgency at that point, and that probably cost them in terms of options, although I'm not sure how many real options there were.
Yeah, the issue I have, and hey, there's blame to go around to a lot of people here and a lot of organizations. And one of those organizations, City of Glendale, 100% holds some fault.
Yeah, it starts a long time.
If they
they're
don't
the
kick the team out,
If
they don't kick the team out, this team is playing in Glendale, and this isn't even, we're not even talking, we'll let you renew another year. We're going to charge you a little more, but we're going another year. Done.
Yep.
And literally nobody cares that they're not playing in front of a full building out in the West Valley, and it just goes unheard of. It's fine.
But the narrative is they kicked them out simply because they weren't paying their bills. And they weren't paying their bills, and that's on the Coyotes. That was a really dumb mistake to make. But that's not why they were kicked out. That's not why they were kicked out.
It's a leverage play. They wanted to have a long-term lease deal for the building. And it was, hey.
If the Coyotes had said, you know what, we'll sign a 15-year lease agreement, Glendale never would have come out with all of that those financials, never would have kicked them out. Keep this in mind and make no mistake. Glendale did not want to lose the Coyotes. If you hear anything else, you're hearing lies or misinformed opinions. Glendale did not want to lose the Coyotes. They wanted a long-term lease, and they would have taken the Coyotes back in a heartbeat if they had signed a 15-year lease agreement. So throw that aside.
That's where this is where the timeline begins.
And that's part of it. Yes. Glendale's part of it. But then Coyotes saw this coming. This has been something that's been brewing and bubbling over for years. And the foresight should have been there for a plan. I know we've talked about buildings and other building sites, and this one fell through, or they might build here. We've heard about that a lot. But when you started to see the writing on the wall that, this probably isn't going to work out, I don't know if they reacted quick enough or with a tone of panic that maybe they needed to, that maybe things could have been done quicker. I don't know. I don't know when the negotiations started with ASU. We toured the other facility
last fall.
Last fall.
Veterans Memorial
We went to Veterans Memorial Coliseum and go, okay, this needs a lot of work.
Yep.
And we said on that day we toured this, they need to decide tomorrow what the hell they're going to do.
Yep. Yeah.
Because now there's not going to be enough time. And it really did come down to time. And that's why this external locker room deal is such a big deal now, because it just came down to they didn't have enough time to build the annex and have it completed in time. That's it. It's time.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like, even if you go to Veterans Memorial Coliseum and you decide, whoa, this place is just too beat up for us to make it go here, okay. But you should have done that sooner. You should have approached ASU sooner. You should have worked this all out so that the annex was in place. Yes, that's on the Coyotes for making that mistake, for not having a sense of urgency. But what do you do about that at this point? You find the next best solution, and that's what they're doing now. Again, we talked about this, Leah, on the show last night, and I don't know the extent of the communication with the 4 teams that are going to be playing in this situation, but Javier Gutierrez told me there was communication. And aside from that, I know that the league and the PA were heavily involved because I have talked to both of those parties multiple times. So everybody was aware of this. Everybody signed off on this.
Yeah, the way it's seeming like the narrative online, it seems like that the Coyotes are doing this. It's like, how could they do this? But it's like the Coyotes aren't the only ones doing this. This is an NHL decision. This is an NHL PA. This was all approved. And I just want to re-emphasize again and again, this is not an ideal situation. The ASU Arena, not an ideal situation, but it was the best available situation at the time. Just like this locker room that is now going viral on Twitter, not ideal, best solution at the time. The other options, they'd be on the road for their first 26 games of the season, or 20, I guess it would have been. which nobody wanted.
Yep.
So they wanted to give the Coyotes games at home, and this was the way they were going to do that. And it is what it is. 4 teams of their 41 home games have to play one game, getting ready in a community rink space that is giant, that will be up to NHL standard, because the NHL and NHLPA would not allow something like that to happen if it wasn't up to
the
an
PA
NHL
has
standard.
been here
Yes.
multiple times to check out this arena.
And so is the league.
Help me out, Petey, here. Help me out, because I'm really having a hard time with anybody having, like, I get it's not NHL standards, right? You're setting up on a community rink. Got it. Yeah, it's not ideal. But I'm having a really hard time with the over-the-top whining and saying what horrible a situation, a travesty this is. Help me out as a visiting team when you're in that space, assuming they're going to have all the things they need, and they are, because the PA's been involved. What's the friggin' big deal for one game?
Yeah, here's a couple of things. And all of these teams have been involved in neutral site games, outdoor games, craft hockeyville games, and in those situations, you're in less than ideal spaces. It happens, I don't want to say all the time, that's not a fair statement, but it happens in preseason. It does happen in the outdoor games where they have to build temporary facilities. The biggest thing that they're going to have to deal with is to make sure they have everything they need. They have a workout space that involves, and there's a checklist. You need to have this many weights. You need to have this many bikes. They will have all that.
Yeah.
You need to have this in the medical facility area. They will have all that. They will have what they need. Is it ideal? Again, no. But is it going to be good enough to compete in a hockey game? Yes. If they don't get what they need, if they don't have what's required by the PA or the NHL to operate a NHL hockey game, then I'm with them 100%.
Sure.
If not, there are things like power issues, and do they have video feeds, and those things are an issue. Do they have medical facilities that are necessary? If they have all of the things that they need, they'll be able to play a hockey game. And I liken it, and I said the craft hockeyville thing, but when you're at these small community rinks, and we did one, the Coyotes did one in Alberta, and it was small. Sylvan Lake, Alberta was a small facility, but guess what? You got through, you played a hockey game, and everything was fine.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. The overstatement of how bad this is completely overstated. As far as space, these visiting teams will have more space, physical space, than they have in most visiting locker rooms.
You have a hell of a game of two-touch, right?
Yeah, it's incredibly large. No, they get the whole community rink, and that's
it'll be locked off, by the way, just so people know. There won't be access to that. Nobody else will have access.
Public skating going on. No. Yeah. So they have all 4 locker rooms, so they'll have plenty of restroom facilities, shower facilities. They have all of the community rinks, locker room facilities. They have on-ice facilities. They have an area set aside for workouts. So there will be the physical space. And I harken back to the bubble. When the Coyotes go to the bubble, there were 10 teams in the bubble. And 10 teams playing out of the same arena with the same locker room space. And there were days that they had curtained off areas for your gym. That was your gym. And guess what? Nobody complained. Not one team. There were 6 teams that had that black cordoned off thing for your gym. And you're like, okay, today you're moving to this locker room. You're in this locker room tomorrow. You're split tomorrow in these 2 spaces. Yeah. And guess, you know how many people complained? Nobody. Because you just made do because you understood that it was unusual circumstances, and that's what the case is here. I hate to say it, get over it. Like,
suck it up, right?
If you got a place to sit down and put your skates on, go play hockey. Now, do I expect there to be more rumbling from the players? 100%. I absolutely expect players to go, oh, this sucks, because you know what? They're used to a different standard. I get it. If they have a chair where they can sit down and put their skates on and then go out and play, once. If they do it all season, I'm with them.
Right.
But the facility they're building is an annex. The league, the PA, the organization, they've all been involved in building this annex. It's NHL standards. It is going to be brand new and have everything that everybody needs. Yep. It just won't be there for a few more weeks. The problem is then what do you do to the Coyotes? Do you kick them out, as Leah's point, 26 games, and make them maybe in hindsight they should have said, you know what, Coyotes, unfortunately to do this, you're going to be on the road. And until that annex is built, and I'm sorry, this is just the way it is, and maybe we could have avoided this discussion. Maybe. Yeah. But again, a week from now, there's going to be something else to bitch about. Yeah. You know, this narrative will pass.
No, but your point is fair, right? Because of the timing. Like, you dropped the ball on this. You didn't get on this soon enough, and so we're not going to punish other NHL teams for your mistake. That's fair. They could have gone that route. Yes. But again, I go back to the just... I can't believe what a big deal people... I mean, like, with all the things going on in the world, really? Like, having to get dressed in a temporary space for one game? we're expending this much emotion and thought on this. It's just it's
Yeah.
absurd to me. What is this world we're living in where this is that big a deal? Get over it.
And the
My
ice surface
God.
is 200 by 85. It's the same everywhere for everybody. So the ice, once they get on the ice, it's a beautiful facility with a loud building, and let's move on. I do have some other concerns, and I know the three of us will be at Mullet on Friday, and there are concerns because we've all been there.
Yep.
On how they're going to execute an NHL game. And I'm not talking locker rooms. I'm not talking about the on-ice product. I'm talking about parking, ticketing, media credentials, space, the building itself. And again, you don't know until you do it. You don't know what's going to go wrong. There are going to be hiccups, as you said earlier.
Javier Gutierrez said that as well. By the way, I had a conversation with him that'll be part of the story that I run at some point tomorrow, Thursday. He said it. He knows. Look, we've done everything that we can. We've tried to think of everything, but we know there will be hiccups. It's the first time we've done it, and that's going to happen in any experience, right?
There were hiccups on ASU hockey's
Yes,
first
there
night.
were. Yes, there were.
And that's their building, and they could plan even more in advance for it, and they had hiccups. It's just like we had hiccups our first day in our new studio downtown.
Yep.
Like, that's just the reality of being in a new space.
Yes, in a new experience. Exactly. Yep. So it'll happen. But hopefully they'll learn from it, and they'll have it all figured out by the time, these 4 games are over at least. And when we come back, when they move into the annex and they're playing more home games, hopefully they'll have all of that sorted out at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we're going to dive more into the Twitter narrative in just a second. To get through it, thank goodness we have our 4 Peaks beers. I couldn't pick a better day to have this conversation, actually. And if you're watching us live right now, head on over to 4 Peaks. We're going to be out here all day long. Every PHNX show is going live from 4 Peaks today. It's super fun. I see, hello, Charles Woodall Pike is sitting over there. I'm waving to him right now. Hi, Charles. Okay,
CWP.
He's waving. Yeah, we got a few people here watching us live. And we're actually going to be back here on Friday for the inaugural watch party and tailgate for the first game at Mullet Arena. So if you have tickets to the game or you don't have tickets to the game, come before, hang out. Petey and I are going to come hang out a little bit before, enjoy some 4 Peaks brews. There's beer specials, giveaways. And then if you don't have tickets to the game, stick around because there's going to be a 20-foot projector screen broadcasting the game. Watch it with your fellow Coyotes fans. And then if you're headed to the game, 6 minutes down the road, easy to get to. You can walk or drive. And then it's literally a free event. So just RSVP in the description to guarantee you get a spot close to the screen. But it's completely free. So we hope to see you out this Friday if you couldn't make it out today. And also, hook yourself up with some discounted beer. Listen to this, $15 for a 24-pack of the fall variety pack. Are you kidding? $15 for a 24-pack?
Tell me more.
This Saturday.
Or tell me less.
This Saturday, only at 4 Peaks, Wilson Street Brewery, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The first 50 people there get a free Oktoberfest shirt. So do not miss out on this. That's 4 Peaks, Wilson Street Brewery, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. this Saturday to get a 24-pack of fall variety for just $15. To drink, you must be 21 or older and enjoy responsibly. Another thing I'm happy that we got today besides our beers is I had I had a donut this morning. Did you have one?
The Hertz Donuts.
I'm really fighting the urge, to be honest. I'm fighting the urge.
Sean had one, right, Sean? Which one did you have?
I did. Shane and I split a frosted animal cracker donut.
That's the one I had too.
Money.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
They're so unique, and it's not just your
are.
glazed or your cake. I mean, like bizarre donuts.
But like unbelievable.
Bizarre in a good way.
Cookies and cream.
Yeah, I've never had a
Cookies and
bad
cream
donut.
was money. Yeah.
I've never had a bad donut from Hertz. And you can get the spooky Halloween dozen right now, which is super fun. Great thing to bring to a party, by the way. Great thing to bring into your office or for your kids at home. Visit their Tempe location. Tell them PHNX sent you. And our guy Blake will hook you up at Hertz Donuts. So head on over there this week. Tell them PHNX sent you. All right. Let's dive into some. We're going to do, this is a segment that people do on various shows, and it's reading mean tweets.
Okay.
So we're going to read them, and this is a small selection of a giant sample that we are currently experiencing. I've had to mute my Twitter notifications today, But Sean, let's just pull up in no particular order some of the tweets, some of the common narratives we've seen again and again today on Twitter in response to this visiting locker room situation. This is a professional sports team, right? Yes.
Yes, it is.
It is. Yep. Yep. It's a professional sports team. All right. Next. This is an absolute embarrassment. Can't wait to see the quote-unquote annex. I don't know why it's in quotes because it's real. Will it have a cafeteria and lunchroom and library? Is that in reference to this being a university's arena, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know.
Also, the annex in quotes doesn't make sense because the annex is a real place.
It actually exists. We've seen it.
We've seen it.
Yes.
If you live in Arizona and drive on Scottsdale Road, you can see it.
Yep.
Or rural, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that references, but and having said that,
funny, poking fun at the college thing, sure.
I guess, and knowing how the teams do their meals, I won't be necessarily a kitchen there, but they'll be eating good food there. I guarantee it. They got a chef.
Yep.
All right, what's next?
Chef Mario, buddy.
Chef Mario.
Chef
Huge
Mario's
fan.
good.
Huge fan of Chef
This
Mario.
is so embarrassing for the NHL. How has this team not been relocated
Oh,
yet?
bingo. Scratch out that bingo spot.
Yeah, let's rip off the Band-Aid. Move them. Well, why the hell aren't you moving them? Just move the damn team.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, where are you going to move them?
Who was that? Who was that?
Look at that creeper.
Tweet from?
Look at the creep.
Can you pull it up one more time?
Look at the creeper
why
in the
is
back.
Saul creeping behind us? Can you pull up the tweet? Can you, Sean? I cannot read that. Can you read their name?
It is Immortal Lou 30.
Immortal Lou 30. Where would you move them? Immortal Lou 30.
Yeah, where are they going?
Where are they going, buddy? Because I know the latest.
Where are they
the
going?
rumor
Where?
du jour is Houston, of
Houston,
course.
of course.
Houston, of course.
Move them to Houston.
Hey, Immortal Lou 30. Have you done the research? Have you actually called to see if Houston's a possibility? Because let me tell you, I have, and it's not. So,
according to his Twitter, he's from Delaware, so maybe Dover would like an NHL.
Yeah, maybe Dover. We
Perfect.
could move them there. Yeah. Rename them. What's Delaware's name? The Mud Hens. Is that what it is?
Well, there's the Blue Hens,
Blue Hens.
the university. Yeah,
Whatever.
Delaware.
Maybe they call them the Mud Hens or the Ice Hens.
And
or
The
whatever.
Mud Hens are Toledo, the minor league
bingo.
baseball team for the
Formerly
my
the Minnesota
goodness.
Twins.
Twins. Yeah.
DP.
Yeah, but we talk about relocation all the time. And this is in lieu of moving. That this team needed a place to play, and they needed a place to play in Arizona. This is where they're playing. Period. Done. I mean, I'm sorry the locker rooms aren't up to snuff. I don't know what to tell you. Like when Tampa Bay had a hurricane come through and Tampa Bay had to move games or cancel games in the preseason,
Played at the Trop, at the Trop, right? They played in a baseball stadium.
Played in the baseball
for a
stadium.
while.
Didn't move them?
Nope, didn't move them. No. Oh, and then they ended up.
Did we
winning
care? By the
cups.
way, did we care? Did anybody watch? Like,
No, because we didn't have social media like it is now.
Because I didn't watch any games when they played because of the Tropicana. Guess what? Didn't HK? Don't care.
Yeah.
It's not going to make me watch them more. If you didn't watch the Coyotes a year ago, don't watch them now.
Yeah.
Like, buddy, what are you? Why? Like, do you think the Coyotes were high on anybody's radar ever? Like, if you don't watch the Coyotes, don't watch the Coyotes.
Yeah.
Like, I that's the part that bothers me the most. Who really? I don't care. I don't care about any baseball teams. So if something happens to Oakland or San Francisco, it doesn't bother me at all. I won't watch them because I didn't watch them before. Don't watch them. If you don't watch the Arizona Coyotes, guess what? They'll be fine.
Yeah, there's a psychological study there to dive into why people care so much about the visiting team locker room space in the Coyotes arena for 4 games. I guess when I put together my pecking order of important things, my priorities in life, that was obviously not making the list, and the list could be, I don't know, like 50,000 long, and it still wouldn't make the list of things I care about.
The only people that I can sit there and go, okay, again, being angry on Twitter is one thing, but being an angry person as a hockey fan, if I'm in Kansas City or I'm in Quebec City going, gosh, I really wish we had a team, and I know we would do it so much better, and things would be better here. I can honestly,
You can acknowledge
that because I lived in Minnesota when the Minnesota North Stars moved. Then I go, gosh, you know what? It would be better here if we had a team back again. And so I understand the angst and I get it if you want a team. I completely understand it. But the vitriol and the anger,
Sure,
that part is where I understand hockey fans wanting a team.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we could do this better, and I wish we had a team because we wouldn't
maybe
be like
you could
this.
do it better, though. I want to challenge that, too, because, look, the NHL examines these markets, and there's a reason they're not in Kansas City and Quebec.
Yeah, and there's a reason they're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, like, I'm making an assumption the guy from Delaware, maybe a Capitals fan, like I feel like it's fans that whose teams aren't even being affected. Like, how many people really care about the Winnipeg Jets?
Yeah, and Steven made the best point in the chat. The people you should feel for is the staff and the equipment staff.
Thank you. Like
That's
worry
who
about
it
the team, right?
affects.
The team who has to deal with this more than one game. nobody outside the Coyotes organization, right?
Right.
So those are the people that I feel for more than anything.
Yeah. And it's funny, Leah mentioned the equipment staff. I happened to have a conversation with somebody there recently, and it's like, okay, well, you get home from this long road trip, and at least you get a day off. And they're like, huh? Like, we have to move into a building we've never been in before that literally wasn't completed when we left. Like, that building wasn't done when they left. So, like, they had to wait till now to move in. So, no, it's all hands on decks over the next 72 hours trying to get into a building and talk about a home game. No, home game? Home game. There's home fans, but nobody's been there
now.
I know.
Home
I did.
game?
Home game.
Home game? Don't talk about a home game.
So nobody's even been in the building. So I think they're approaching this. We talked about Kraft Hockey Field. That's what this is like for them because they're using the NCAA's visiting space, and that it's for cement brick walls. You don't hear them complaining. It'll be similar instead of curtain black walls, they'll have cement brick walls. There's no frills in the Coyotes space over the next 4 games either. So I don't hear anybody there complaining.
There was a lot of dialogue on Twitter too about like why didn't they make the Coyotes use the space at the community rink instead of the visiting teams? But the Coyotes have 4 games. Like we said, this only affects each visiting team for 1 game. The Coyotes do have to deal with this 4 games. Their staff does. I don't know.
It was logistically they have to be there for an extended period of time, and you can't have that in the community rink for out of service for that long
the ability
time.
to take it,
correct,
put up, take it down.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely. And then
and that's why.
And to the last note of that tweet about like this is embarrassing for the NHL. The NHL signed off on this. So that's on them.
It'll be interesting to see when you talk about national perspective, and I know Craig will talk more of this too. This is a national hockey game, nationally televised game on Friday. We're going to get the national perspective, and I'm sure they're going to have stories about the arena and different. I mean, that is the story Friday. It's not about the 2 teams. It's going to be about the building, and so I think you're going to see it from a national perspective. And I know the league, national media, the team themselves. This is going to be a positive story. I mean, they're not going to. This isn't, oh my gosh, look how bad this is. They're going to be, look what we were able to do in a unique situation in a unique building. And I think that's how we as Coyote fans and Coyote followers, that's what we have to do. You have to look at this as a positive. Thank goodness the team is still here, and we got an ability to root for them until they get their dream facility built. And when that's done, but please get that done, by the way. Vote, get it done, get it built. Because when that day comes and we're standing in front of the TED, right on Tempe Town Lake going, okay, now beat it. Like, done.
Yeah, we're done.
Our building's better than yours, in a city better than yours, with a team that's probably going to be better than yours. So can we stop at that point? So let's just hope
that's what it's going to take. And really, that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Like, this becomes a footnote if that happens.
100%.
If they get the arena
built. If you get the TED built on the lake.
Yeah, 4 years down the road, people are like, oh, yeah, remember when the Coyotes were... Yeah, I remember.
It'll be a footnote.
Remember when the Lightning were playing at Tropicana Field? I remember that.
It'll be a footnote just like all those other things. And this isn't just the NHL.
Carolina.
When the Blue Jays had to play in Buffalo, like the things that they did during COVID, when the Raptors had to go to, like, this is a thing. This isn't unique.
It'll be a footnote.
This is not unique to this particular situation. It's just especially easy to make fun of this because it's the Coyotes.
Yes.
If this was the Pittsburgh Penguins, if this was the LA Kings.
Speaking of which, we had a story about that recently. Remember when the Pittsburgh Penguins were in dire straits as well? You remember Mullett Arena?
Yeah.
It was a dump.
It was bad.
It
was dumb.
Bad.
Like, if it was the Chicago Blackhawks, like, would you have the same storylines? Relocate this team. This is a poverty franchise. This is a joke. This is embarrassing. Would you be saying those things? And to be fair, I have seen some tweets today that have said, this isn't ideal, but I get what they have to do. There's been some tweets that have said, this is actually kind of cool. A lot of tweets, hey, this reminds me of my youth hockey days. This is kind of fun. So I will acknowledge not everybody has been nasty on Twitter. But on that note, let's keep reading the mean tweets.
Oh, yeah, we still have mean tweets.
We still have more mean tweets. Tell me a franchise shouldn't exist without telling me a franchise shouldn't exist.
Wow. Trying to be clever, though. Trying to be clever. Trying to be funny.
Yeah, it's still an NHL franchise.
I will. You're right. I will give whoever that was points for being original, at least, instead of poverty franchise, move the team. Like, I feel like I'm talking to children.
Before we move on, though, Craig, this franchise has had some missteps you've outlined numerous times over the last 20 years that have led to these kind of responses.
Absolutely.
And so some of it is deserved, not necessarily from this ownership groups, from previous groups, and there have been some problems and missteps, and the mountain has gotten big, and so little things, people go, oh, there it is again in Arizona. There they go.
Yeah.
Doesn't have anything to do with what happened in the past. This is what it is.
Yep. All right, let's read the next one. This isn't a good look. Have you worked really hard at all? Oh, wait. Here you worked really hard all your life to get this moment as an NHL player, and all you get is a black curtain. Oh, no.
Yeah. That's
Millionaires.
Oh, my God. How
Not
are they
the
going?
millionaires.
You've worked all your life, and you have to play this one game
Craig.
behind a black curtain. How will you survive?
One game.
How will you
They
survive?
gotta quit. They can't.
Oh, my God. They
They're
should.
done.
They
They're
should probably
retired.
just, go
Hang
find
'em
another
up.
profession.
I
Hang
would
'em
like
up.
to be a fly on
Go
the wall,
play in the
though.
KHL.
When you're looking at the star power that's rolling in here with the New York Rangers and Panarin and
Artemi
Shesterkin,
Panarin.
I would love to be a fly on the wall when they walk into that room.
Sitting on the floor,
100% want to be sitting on the floor.
showering with their damp washcloths.
Yeah, because there are going to be some sideways looks, but
Unconfirmed reports that they've hired sponge bathers for the players.
There might be. Do you think any players are going to quit the league because of this?
Maybe.
I don't
mean,
know.
maybe.
This
They can't
is
handle
really offensive.
It's so bad.
It's really upsetting.
But
It's like
Okay.
top 10 greatest tragedies in world history.
Guess what?
Probably.
Those same millionaires that just flew in and that are going that
on
they
their
worked very
private
hard.
jet.
That was exactly where I was going. They just landed on their private jet. Guess where they're going? 5 minutes later, they're in Mill Avenue
Or
Old Town.
Town.
And I tell you what,
The
there are
Scottsdale
plenty
flu, I'm telling
plenty
you.
of millionaires that are going to be happy going, HK about the thing.
It's like 70
like we're-
degrees, 75
Yeah.
degrees
So wait,
this
we don't have
week,
to go
coming from
in Glendale?
Winnipeg.
We don't have to go out at Westgate for dinner. I can go to Old Town?
Yeah.
Like, buddy.
Exactly. And you're right. Perfect weather, too. Like Javier called
phenomenal.
this Chamber of Commerce weather, right? That
Yes.
they're coming in for. And yeah, they get to hang
Players
out in
aren't
Old
going to be
Town.
as mad as you think.
Nah.
I swear they're not. It's a 5-minute ride. The hotel's closer to the rink. They can walk to the rink.
It's a
They're-
5-minute ride from the airport.
Everything's going to be quicker and better than a 45-minute ride out to Glendale to stay out in Glendale. And we talked about Glendale. I like Glendale. I'm not ripping Glendale. There are more dining and restaurant choices in downtown Tempe and Old Town than there are at Westgate, period. Sorry. So players are going to have more options. Players are going to go, this wasn't that bad. I am 100% telling you, once they get through it, once logistically, coaches, teams, staffs are going to go, oh, yeah, I'd rather take a 5-minute ride to an airport and stay here than take 45 minutes. They're going to be the game. They'll be out at the next city.
Canada, Ontario.
They'll be in the next city in LA. If you go to LA next, you'll be landing about the time you're taking off. Literally, teams aren't going to be teams will not be as upset as you think they are, other than the locker room for 4 days.
Yep. We don't have this one on a screenshot, but this is just a funny tweet that I just read from Steven on Twitter. Arizona should do everything they can to make it hard for visiting teams to play them. Don't even have dressing rooms.
Brilliant.
Make them dress outside or make them come into the rink already in their equipment.
Love it. Like skate guards, like when guys' moms had to get them in like metal chairs outside and tie their skates outside.
Oh my goodness.
Hell yeah.
Love
Yep.
it.
Love it.
Well,
yeah, you want to see hard, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
my goodness. Well, if you want to be at the first game at Mullet Arena, you can. Check out the Game Time app. There's tickets still available there. It's the cheapest you're going to find tickets. I promise you, they're less than face value, and they're going to be cheaper the day of the game. So check on Friday. Open the Game Time app. You can save up to 60% on tickets when you buy last minute. Great for all the procrastinators out there. Check out Coyotes tickets. There's also ASU hockey tickets, Cardinals tickets. Any ticket you can think of, shows, concerts, events, all of it. Use Game Time, and the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in our description. So whether you're listening on audio or watching on YouTube, scroll down, click that link, and then let us know what game you bought tickets for and how much you paid. I promise you, and Petey has bought tickets on Game Time, it will be cheaper than face value.
And it's super easy.
And it helps us.
And it helps us out a lot if you want to help us out. And another way to extra enjoy the game on Friday is download the Underdog Fantasy app while you're watching the game. Do daily fantasy, do the higher or lower game. I promise you, it just adds a little bit of spice. Since we've talked so much about that Friday night is going to be about the building, you know, if you need a little bit of investment in the game, we know the Coyotes aren't going to be fighting for a playoff spot, although they have won 2 games in their first 6. Just saying. Watch out. They're coming. They're coming.
Yotes are a wagon? A little early, DP?
No.
The Sabres are a wagon.
Sabres are a wagon. We're going to ignore getting blown out by the Kraken yesterday.
Ooh,
Otherwise,
yeah.
they're a wagon.
Yikes. Anywho, download it, Underdog, search in the App Store, or click on the link in our show notes. Sign up with the promo code PHNX, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PHNX, and get in on the action today. And now we're going to go over to some positivity. But before we do, I do just want to bring up one tweet that we did see today from Jeff on Twitter. And I think we've done a good job about this. So we had tweeted the original video, obviously, and it's blown up. And then quote tweeted it and said, it's a good day to pull out your bingo card, which is pretty much what we're doing right now on our show, is playing bingo. And Jeff on Twitter said, I kind of hate the every critic is the bad guy mentality in Yotes land. A lot of us are pro-Arizona long-term and don't want to call them out, but you can't be in denial either. This is objectively bad and way below pro standards. It deserves more shame. What do you guys think about that take?
Well, it's not like we haven't painted both sides of the picture here consistently. We've talked about all the issues. We talked about them again on today's show. It's just, I question whether, like, every time something gets tweeted about the arena, it's the same stuff.
Yeah.
Are we even moving the argument forward? Like I said before, I feel like I'm in a room of children sometimes where it's the same, poverty franchise, move the team. Like, yeah, heard it before. Thanks for that. Any thoughts? Any suggestions? Can we have an adult conversation about this? Can we acknowledge all the nuance and the details behind it?
This is
there
not
have
a
been
black and
mistakes
white
made by the
situation.
Coyotes. We have said that repeatedly. It's not like we're just waving the Coyote flag here. We've pointed out all their mistakes. But there's more to the story, that there's more nuance, and we're the ones on the ground who really understand the story. I get tired of these superficial narratives, the superficial analysis, and the same stupid comments. I don't know what value that has. I don't believe I'm ever going to change it. That's the world we live in, but I get tired of half-informed, casual opinions. It's not who I am. I'm a reporter.
Having said that, though, Jeff summed it up for me. I mean, that's the. I agree. We're not sitting here bashing on everybody that criticized this. It's the narrative of people that don't follow and don't know and are just saying move them. That's the look that we're changing.
It's unfair.
Jeff, I agree with you 100%. This is a bad look. I absolutely agree that this is not an ideal situation. Yeah. I agree that it is not up to NHL standards and the way you'd want it to be. I completely agree 100%. But there just isn't another option. So saying that it's disappointing that it's played like this, I'm with you. Like I 100% agree, and I think people in the organization would say that too. I just think it's what this group is saying is just don't start yelling at us or saying poverty or move or relocate or what a joke. Like that's not true. Like those things aren't true. Everybody involved in this organization is doing the best they possibly can right now to make the best of this situation. Period. That's just the truth. Now, if the best isn't good enough, okay, I can't argue with you there. But they are trying. They don't want it to be like this. Right. They wanted the annex done. They wanted to be in there.
And they're doing a lot of good things. Like they're moving ahead with this project. You know what it's like for me sometimes?
And I don't want to seem like we're yelling at everybody because we're not.
But it reminds me of parenting, Petey. Like, do you keep bringing up that mistake that your kid made like 7 months ago? Hey, this is great, but you know what?
Remember that?
Remember that? Remember that? Like,
maybe we should relocate you.
Move on at some point. All right, we got it. Yeah, we've all heard the arguments. Yeah. We all get it. But it is what it is now. Let's move on.
Yeah. We've already know the facts. Like, let's just let
And a year
it be.
from now, hopefully this is they'll be back in the same arena. The locker room space will be done, and hopefully everybody's used to it now, and we're just moving on to a team with a lot of really good young players that are exciting to watch.
Yep. As we were talking, someone said, "What a joke of an organization." Anyway, let's just stop. Let's move on to some positives for Friday because there are a ton. And the first is this is going to be an unbelievable building. All three of us have seen an ASU hockey game in this building. It was an electric atmosphere, and that's only going to carry over to the NHL because if you put 5,000 people in a small venue, you're going to hear them. And what the ASU players and coaches have all described is it feels like the fans are on top of you. Mm-hmm. So I know the Coyotes aren't necessarily trying to win games this season, but I think that there's going to be some home ice advantage here.
Better than Glendale.
Way better.
When you're, half full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the noise will be better. Can we get the ASU band? And if not, can the three of us bring instruments?
I feel like they should invite the ASU band.
I can't play an instrument.
But first of all, and this is in our notes as well, the student section will be, there'll be students there.
Yeah.
And I hope they bring the same energy they bring to ASU because it was a reminder to me. Like I covered college hockey a long time ago, and I love that atmosphere, but it's just a different vibe. Yeah. When you cover college athletics, it's a different vibe. And they brought so much energy to that building. And now They're going to get to sit right on the glass. I think the tickets are $25. Maybe I'm wrong, so don't quote me on that. But whatever the students are paying, it's a really low price. You're going to sit right on the glass, and on Sunday, you're going to watch Artemi Panarin for like $25.
It's a Advantage ad.
Are you kidding me?
Chris
Are
Carter.
you kidding me?
Adam Fox, that close? I'm not.
Even if you're in the top row as not even a student, like the 13th row is the highest row.
Yep.
And you're going to get to watch that.
Wow.
And I know like this might be oversaid, but there's not a bad seat in the house.
No, not even in the press box.
Not even the press box. If you've ever been in an NHL press box, it is the nosebleeds of the nosebleeds.
Yeah,
like,
right?
You have vertigo up
binoculars.
there. Craig was we've been in the press box. Like, Craig, you can't even see the whole ice because it's so close.
Yeah, that's the thing about this press box. Well, you can't see it in one in your peripheral vision. You literally have to turn from side to side. I took that photo that people were joking. Oh, the ice is shaped like a bean. Like, yeah, let's roll with that too. But yeah, you're that close. Like, you talk about not having a bad seat in the house. The press box is unbelievable. The press box is really where like the top of the lower bowl would usually be. That's where I'm sitting watching games. It's unbelievable. I started thinking about this, by the way, at the last game, at the ASU game. Like, I'm going to have to pay attention for flying pucks here. I'm that close.
I was sitting in the top row of the middle section at one point, and a puck landed in the row in front of me.
That brings up something legit that I don't know if we haven't talked about, but they always have the netting on the ends.
Yeah.
They may have to do netting all the way around.
They are aware of it. Javier said they're aware of it. Because when they got in, they were like, oh, wow.
Yeah, we're tight.
We might need to put up more netting.
Yeah.
Might need to protect people.
You're right. Because
Everyone,
if you're walking
wear
on
your
the
hard
Concord,
hats.
Yes. Pay attention when you're at Mullet Arena.
Perfect.
Anywhere you're sitting.
We should do rebuild reminder branded hard hats that you can wear to the games during the rebuild, and then keep yourself protected against flying pucks at Mullet Arena. Oh my goodness. Another thing is this is a brand new ice plant with brand new ice. So the ice is going to be great.
So, yeah, I've talked to players about it, and they said the ice is amazing. And these players have skated on a lot of ice surfaces, including, the old NHL arena in town, which was notorious for its bad ice. This ice is way better than Gila River Arenas or whatever, Desert Diamond Arena, whatever it's called now. I can't keep track, but this ice is really good, and I think people will notice that as well.
So that's another positive. And then the other thing is we talk about the light at the end of the tunnel, and that is the Coyotes getting their brand new arena, the Tempe Entertainment District. That vote is on the horizon. And right now, to bridge that gap, which we've said again and again, this is the bridging of that gap, playing in Tempe for these few years is going to only serve to strengthen the relationship between the Arizona Coyotes and the city of Tempe.
And Arizona State,
Yep, and Arizona State. And who knows what possibilities that can mean for, will some Arizona State teams even play at the TED potentially?
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibility.
I mean, host the Frozen Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great relationship. If you want to do business in Tempe, it's sure good to have ASU on your side.
Yeah, they're the largest employer in the city of Tempe, so there you have it.
Yep. And then lastly, on Friday, there's a lot of really fun stuff planned before the game, during the game. I know that fewer fans are going to be able to attend games this season. Like, we're very aware of that. And so are the Coyotes. I know that they're trying their best. And we as PHNX Coyotes are doing that. That's why we are bringing you that 20-foot projector screen so you can watch it, be with your fellow community, with your fellow Coyotes fans. But I do think that the Coyotes are doing everything they can to make it really special.
They are now. Yeah. Again, let's reiterate. There were some missteps. There were plenty of missteps along the way, but I think they have a handle on the situation now, and they are now doing everything they can to make this manageable.
Absolutely. So, as the Coyotes think about the TED, maybe when the TED is approved and then the Coyotes move their offices, they'll furnish their entire space with more furniture. At least that's what I would recommend. How's that?
Maybe, yeah.
What a transition. You can spruce up your home or your office during More Furniture's fall sale at More, that's MOR, furniture.com, and you'll receive a $100 gift card For every $1,000 you spend, you can also grab some Arizona merchandise over at FOCO. They have the best Arizona merchandise with officially licensed gear for men, women, and kids. Everything from bobbleheads to swimsuits to Crocs. They also have the Cardinals hoodies, which we're going to buy for Petey. It's like a Snuggie, so he can have his Cardinals one. Head on over to foco.com for all non-presale items. Use the promo code PHNX for 10% off. Guys, anything else you want to say before we head out?
I'm sure we'll have things to say again in the coming days, but I think we've exhausted it for now. Again, like you said, though, it's eyes on the prize, right? The TED vote is coming soon.
Yep.
The TED vote
before
is
the
coming
end of the
soon.
year, and
I think it's going to come before Thanksgiving. So,
and it's currently close to the end of the year. It's late October. There's only 2 months left. So within the next 2 months, and as early as the next month, we will know.
And I want to close out with two thoughts. One, anything happens with Mullet, the Coyotes, the building, the annex, the locker rooms, tune into PHNX, go phnx.com, because Craig will have it first, we'll have it first, and we'll talk about it the most. So that's first. So I want to say, if you need this kind of news and you want to talk about Coyotes, come here first. Secondly, I just, that keeps coming back to, I don't want it to appear that we are the haters and dump it back on, because we're not.
No.
Like and I don't want to have that opinion that we're looking at this as an underdog situation. It is what it is, and we're going to move forward and get past it. We're not angry at people. This is what it is, and we're going to embrace it, and we're all going to do it together. And we talk about a losing team. We do pack therapy. We don't sit there and go, oh, this team sucks, move them. We're like, hey, the team should be better. They should do this and this better. But we're doing it together. We're building a community of hockey fans here in Arizona that understand that the process they're trying to go with, and we're just enjoying the ride along. And 3 years from now, when they're through the other end of the tunnel and they're starting to get ready to have a parade on Van Buren, we're going to be sitting in the front row with everybody that's been on board with us from today all the way till then. So jump on the wagon now while there's still room, because this team's going to get better, and this is a team that's going to try to win next year. 2 years from now, they're going to be on the verge of the playoffs, and 3 years from now, this is the playoff team. So that was it.
You
Sorry.
heard it here first.
Okay.
I can't emphasize enough what Petey already said. Join our family, join our community, become a member at gophnx.com. Craig will have more on this, kind of a more detailed version of everything you need to know about the NHL at Mullet Arena. And I did see that Mac had a question about the biggest concern of a difference between an ASU game and an NHL game. I think we got into that a little bit, with more personnel, the media situation,
camera bays, or Turner,
parking, media credentials, media entries, extra players, scouts,
and that's something too, Mac, that we'll know more after game one, and we can come back in reflection and say, here's what worked, here's what didn't, here's how the Coyotes are going to adjust. So all of that you can find. Craig has all the information. So stay tuned for that. And I wanted to answer this question from Chris, because this is actually kind of a fun question. Any prediction on the first Coyotes goal scorer at the Mullet?
Wow.
Give me Clayton Keller.
Can I take Louis Eriksson?
No. How about Nick Bukestad?
I'm not even going to go with Nick Speed. I'm going to let's go with the kid that's hot right now, the State Gunner.
Ooh.
The Gunner on the power play.
That would be a nice way
in the future.
That'd be pretty
love
good.
that.
I like
okay,
that,
what do you got, Craig?
I don't feel like I can answer as well as Petey did. That was the money answer right there. That's a good answer. But I'm going to go with one of the guys that is sort of a mainstay in the middle core right now. I'm going to say Christian Fisher opens the scoring.
Ooh. Wow. All right.
Wow.
Hear that, Fish? No pressure.
Wow.
No pressure,
well,
buddy.
if it's anything like the ASU home opener with Josh Doan scoring the first goal, maybe we'll get another storybook situation at the Mullet on Friday night. But we're really excited. We really appreciate, by the way, that the Coyotes fans have the best sense of humor, the best ease of just letting everything roll. It's seriously such a pleasure, chatting with everyone in our members only Discord, which you can also access by becoming a member, and seeing everyone's reply to the mean tweets on Twitter. Like, I just couldn't be happier to be part of this amazing community of people. It's seriously phenomenal. And listen, haters gonna hate. That's all.
Yeah.
Like, haters gonna hate. It's easy to kick someone while they're down. It just is. We're above that. So
what Leah's saying is shake it off. Because she's a big Taylor Swift fan.
Wow. Ties it back to, that was pretty impressive. Shake it off. Shake it off. Yeah, I know it. I know it.
Who is that?
I'll
Look
let
at
this
that.
one slide.
Wow.
And then
okay.
Craig, Craig, one more note. Craig will actually be on the PHNX Sun Devils show in just a little bit, talking about the ASU versus UND U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame game coming up in Las Vegas.
Yes.
So that's another thing to look forward
It's like
to.
Ronnie Dangerfield is going back to school, like an old man that's way past it, going back to school.
Tune into the PHNX Sun Devil show live at 2 o'clock, and just stay tuned on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel because we got all of our shows rolling today, back to back to back. Head on down to Four Peaks, RSVP to the watch party this Friday, free, like I said. And thank you all so much for being here, for chiming in always, for following along on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes and PHNX Sports on any social media platform you can think of. We're here for you. It's pack therapy, not just for games. It's pack therapy for situations like this,
Seriously,
too.
yeah.
We're all in it together. You can follow PD on Twitter at SPetersHockey. You can follow Craig at Craig S. Morgan. You can follow me at Leah Merrill. You can follow Sean at Sean_DePaz. Please follow us on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes if you're not already. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. We'll have an audio episode tomorrow, taking a look probably at the NHL, but also probably some more things will come up about Friday's game at Mullet. And then, of course, we'll be live after the game on Friday, and we will all be there. So we will have insights, boots on the ground insights for you all. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Even though it's Wednesday.
It's listen.
It's okay.
I'm just so
It's all
ready
good.
for
Enjoy
it to
Thursday,
be Friday.
too. Just enjoy Thursday, too.
I'm just so ready
you're at
for
it.
it to be Friday.
Checking the alcoholic
Everybody
content on
enjoy
that.
the rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.